one. Hey everybody.
Hello.
G'day. How you guys all doing? So as I mentioned briefly, we're trying a little something new tonight. We're using another new app called Melon app. So unlike the old one, I'm hoping this can make it things a little bit easier. We had some issues with the old one. For example, Deana couldn't hear the stuff I was sharing with everybody. So not quite as fun. This one allows us to do that. Plus, we've also expanded. Not only are we doing it to Twitch tonight, we're also doing it to YouTube as we did before, but tonight we're also doing it to Facebook. So you really have no excuse now. You should be able to follow us no matter where you are. So off we get started. We got quite a few things because I don't know, Dina, has it been an interesting week for you?
It's been busy.
It's been a little busy.
Been a
Uh,
little busy.
it's been a little
Lots of
busy.
interesting things.
It has indeed. So before we get to the more interesting things, I think some people might be interested to follow along with. Um, couple little things we want to follow up with first as I get stuff. So tonight is actually the planning of one of many things. So we plan on actually doing this particular event every Wednesday night at 9:30. So instead of having just the one-offs, we're hoping to be able to actually have you as an audience to join us every 9:30 on Wednesdays. So hopefully it's a
Yay.
yay. Um, Second thing we all started, and this is more something I kind of responded to Horizons Ottawa with. So we have now a Discord chat called Ottawa Activism. And this is located as a channel for everybody to come join in. And we're hoping to see more people of activists come in to join, to participate. Sam Hirsch has jumped in, as well as many others. And particularly, this is something I'm going to bring back by the end of the stream because based on the events, especially in particularly the past 24 hours, not only and a
Yeah.
little bit further, I think the need for this is becoming a little bit more apparent with every minute. So,
If I saw a tweet.
mhm.
The person had no idea what had transpired yesterday at the board meeting. They just saw the part where I was being ejected, and they made a comment about how it doesn't matter what side you're on.
Right.
Don't you miss the times where meetings had decorum? And I just and I have no problem with that. Shared my live, but that day is over. Like, that's gone. Okay, like, we know
Mhm.
that's gone. We wish it was not gone, but we know with these people that no matter how much you want it to be gone, to be the way it was, make board meetings great again, whatever, it's gone. And so if we allow this to go on unchecked, and we know that the cops don't really do anything about anything. I mean, they didn't do anything to me either. They just asked me to go, and of course I was going to go. But the point is like, we need to step up and we need to start showing up. We don't need to be aggressive. Nobody has to take my style if you think I'm too aggressive. You just need to be there, to be there in numbers. I think we just need to show up. You saw what happened with QP and all the people that showed up, and a peaceful protest. We're going to see what happened with the Iranian protest. People just need
Mhm.
to show up, and we need to show them that, you know, I'm sorry, you're not the majority, and it's not enough to go and vote and elect these people to make the decisions that we elected them to make. They're now on this island by themselves with these crazy sharks circling the water, and we need to be there. Like, we need to be there in numbers. That's just my opinion. That's it.
No, and it's not a terrible opinion. It's so let's this could bring us into the what I think a few people may be asking about, which was last night's meeting. So last night, quick recap: OCDSB was debating the issue in regards to whether they should bring back mask mandates.
Yep.
Now, a good
In
majority
schools.
of so a lot of people came out to speak for it, but there was also a concerted effort by what we'll call the anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers, anti-science to try to push a mandate that masks are bad and somehow cause harm, whatnot. And to recap, let's go take a look at a couple of videos from last night. So,
I just want to, can I mention something before you play
absolutely.
it? It's important that we know that it's not just to mask the kids. Like there's all these really intentional points where children don't have to wear masks. It's just to reduce, like by a little bit, at least to reduce. So they don't have to wear masks in music class. They won't have to wear masks in gym class. They won't have to wear masks when they play outdoors. Obviously, they're not going to wear masks when they're sitting and having lunch. This is just when they're in close quarters, you know, and doing their learning, those sort of things. But there are plenty of times where the children don't have to wear masks. And to be fair, that is the only solution on the table right now, because our provincial government has done absolutely nothing in the 2 years to improve the situation. Lots of money came down to the provinces from the federal government, not just to the people, but to the provinces, so that we can make the changes that we need to make our schools safer. What ventilation upgrades have happened in any of our schools? Like none of this has happened. So now we're in this position where this is, you know, what needs to happen, and only until the health. So CHEO says something about 85%.
Well, yeah, like I said, we'll get to CHEO after the videos.
Yeah,
because we're going to go into much more detail in regards to what CHEO is asking for. So, starting off with, so we start off pretty much with the end of the meetings, or the starting of the end of the meetings, when there was obviously, up to this point, we've already had many cheers and interruptions, and at this point, I believe it's Action for Thee that's now stepped in, and I'll let the video speak for itself.
They will hold you accountable for any harm. These are notices of liability. You are hereby served.
How ridiculous are they? Honestly, How ridiculous are they?
So, this, from my understanding, limited on this one here, they tried to serve the entire OCDSB Board of Trustees some sort of documentation, to which I'm, first of all, questioning the legalities of anything that they've served them with, because I believe Action for Thee also gets its legal advice from the group called Stand for Thee. Yes, Stand for Thee.
Trudeau for treason.
That would be Trudeau for treason. That would be Reb Sharp and Jane Sharp. They are ridiculous. They see my understanding is pretty much every time they turn around, they've made a discovery for some new fantastic legal secret that nobody else has discovered. And in their untrained legal minds, they have made the great discovery of, hey, we've now got a one-up on the entire government of Canada, and this is what we're going to show them. And so they're directing them.
What they think, and I actually heard it, is that they think that the insurance will kick in. So I just want to explain to people how corporate lawsuits work. When somebody sues a corporation, generally what the corporation does is they go straight to their insurance company, and then the insurer becomes the client of the lawyer. It's no longer the corporation. So at some point ends up settling. Okay. Yeah. Now, that being said, what I have shown my co-ops, housing co-ops, when this happens, when I know that there isn't a case, is I tell the housing co-ops, look, you're going to pay this amount in premiums over the next 3 years because it's going to take that long for this court case to go. So your premium goes up. And that will be equivalent to $30,000 in the 3 years, which is what you would be paying for a lawyer to argue this case on your behalf. And the insurer is no longer and so that deters people from making these frivolous lawsuits, because I've had this argument with insurance lawyers and they say, well, it's just cheaper to settle. After 3 freaking years, it's cheaper to settle, you know, for who is it cheaper for? So So hopefully the school board, like, I don't know, unless they have great like lawyers who won't take them through this 3-year stupidity process.
More than likely, the school board's probably got lawyers. More than likely, they also have insurance. I'm sure they got, the board more than likely has insurance.
But don't go
And
through insurance. You don't want them to get a settlement. There's nothing to settle here.
oh no,
They
I
need to
know,
be
but more likely,
deemed-
yeah. More than likely, the minute, but the insurance company might just see the paperwork and show it to the first lawyer, and it's like, there's nothing here.
yeah,
Because again, this is Reb Sharp, Reb Shep and Jane Sharp. There is very, very, very loose understanding of the law, and 9 times out of 10, at least from everybody I've heard with legal backgrounds, have looked at their stuff like there's nothing legal in their stuff. Like they are not legal experts at all.
Sharf is half shit, half barf. Sharf.
All right. It's one way we can look at it.
That's all I think about when I think of her. She's full of shit and she vomits bullshit. That's what it is. She sharps it out.
She sharps it out.
She's sharpening it out.
She's definitely sharpening out something, because I mean it's the legal. Yeah. So I mean they dropped down this whole thing of some sort of affidavits to try to prove something there. And these guys are, going through all sorts of weird legals. There's also, I also responded back to today in a tweet in regards to one gentleman that, and I remember watching him speak. He was a father, and he's like, the people have already voted that they don't want masks because 90% of the kids aren't wearing masks.
That is,
and therefore the parents have already spoken. And I'm like, really? You mean to tell me 100% of these kids going to school are all good people listening to their parents? Have you never?
It's not a thing. And
been
neither
a kid?
is that stupid CTV web poll, any of those web polls. I voted 12 times today, just so you know. I checked to see if I could do that, and I couldn't. So it's like, and so these, whatever.
No, web polls are unreliable. So, but our evening wasn't done yet after the action for these. So they were the first one cleared. But at the same time, unfortunately, our dear friend Deana was also caught in that net. And I've been telling her for a while, I'm guaranteed I'm going to get a call at some point to have to get her out of jail. And this has been the first close one to it.
They weren't going to arrest me. I wasn't going to stomp my feet.
It's still going to happen one day. Of course, Dirkson's in that shot.
I love the fact. Maybe you saw my TikTok, but that they are genuinely
oblivious.
No, fearful of this supposed power that I carry for being at these places. Like Mathieu giving me all the credit for shutting down the church. I think that's hilarious. So much so that he's going to put it in a TikTok, and he's worried that I'm going to be at the commission, which I will be, by the way, you guys, tomorrow and Friday, as if I hold any power or whatever. But this is the point. Like, if you guys just show up, I'm just one person, and Joe comes and a couple of other people show up, but we're just a couple of people. Imagine, if we just stood there, if we filled up that gallery at that board meeting, if they do allow people in next time, and every time somebody heckles, all we do is just stand up in silence and just, that's it, block them out. We don't have to say anything, like, or just fill the room and they have no space to be. Those are things that need to happen.
It is. It's, and I'm not even gonna bother with the last video because it does show a little bit of them in regards to them filling up the room.
Yeah.
And it's just them singing "Oh Canada" as they're being kicked out, because
I'm not pissed off that I got kicked out.
No, and
I understand.
As we were leaving there, I kind of predicted what was going to happen as we were leaving. You were one of the last voices that was quite vocal. I mean, half the room definitely knew who you were.
Yep.
And you were quite vocal.
Well, they all knew me because I was outside heckling them too, right? Talking to them.
Well, it's true. The ones that didn't already know you got to learn you rather quickly.
Don't you love it that I
they
just
were-
have to say words and then they have to grab at me or touch me or whatever? Like they just can't seem to. They get so freaking triggered that they have to be assaulty or like that they it gives them permission that they can put their hands on me. I just think that is absolutely incredible that they have no self-control whatsoever.
It's true. They were a little bit aggressive. It's just it was kind of interesting because I was I kind of predicted what was going to happen after you were removed in regards to all right, the last person that's got sort of the voice that they knew was there. Your removal, even though action for they probably shrugged off. It was like, yeah, they got removed, whatever. But your removal for them, I feel empowered them. It's like, oh, we won because she was removed.
You know how I feel? I brought the cops there. I know they're not our friends, but the board meeting, the board members needed the cops to be there. And so I refused to leave until the police showed up. So that's how I see it. Like they would have had to wait for the police to come when that whole bullshit happened. They already had the cops there. So you're welcome.
See, and possibly, and I predicted kind of their clearance after because we know what they're like. And I did hang around. And since I'm the nice one between the two of us, I'm able to move around and listen in a little bit better.
You're the good cop. Like,
I am. I'm the friendly one. But I also heard that I knew you weren't going to be in any trouble because I heard that they as soon as you were out, they were like, okay. And I heard the officers moving around and scrambling, like, yeah, we need to stick around. They want to keep monitoring.
I asked them if they were.
They need to ask them. I heard them.
Yeah. Well, no.
It's even easier.
He was walking me out. I said, "Are you guys staying?" Because I think I told him that I was assaulted by one of them. I'm like, he's like, "No, your only call." I'm like, "Well, you probably should stay." Like,
yeah, but if you ask them, they're not going to give you information. If I just happen to listen, So, as soon as I heard that, and again, none of it was surprising to me because a couple of things I was observing the whole thing is obviously anybody who's observing was able to figure out your stance rather quickly.
Yeah.
They may or if they weren't sure your stance by the audience reaction at the end of it when you were being removed, they figured out rather quickly as to what was going on. In this case, they knew they removed the one dissenting voice in regards to pro-science and pro-mask and pro-vaccination.
I wasn't the one dissenting voice. That's not accurate.
The one that was the loudest.
I was the one who. No, I don't think so. I mean, I was one of the.
Nobody was louder than you in that room.
I was one of the more responsive to them, but we had those very articulate people speaking on behalf of masks and stuff, and they spoke loud and clear, and they spoke with eloquence and intelligence. And that's what these people are afraid of. That's why they had to keep interrupting these people when they were speaking, because when they were speaking the truth, they were just like, oh, and like they started freaking out over the ultraviolet lights that are, that the engineer was describing.
Yeah.
They can't take any, it's as if every single person who works in any field that is academic is all in this plot together to kill the world. Like they're just so bizarre, out of touch.
Well, it is. I mean, it's a bit of a sort of one of those things that whatever you can't explain must be magic. So in regards to,
I don't
you know,
think that
if you can't
they think
understand
it's magic.
science, it
I
must
think
be
they
magic.
think it's deadly. I don't think they think it's magic. I think
No, I'm
they,
not. I'm not meaning literally magic in their
yeah,
sense, but they don't understand how certain things work, so they're going to fill in their own narrative
yeah.
in regards to, you know, it's like, well, I'm
They
not
just
figuring
think
this out.
it's about killing them, and everything that they
Yep.
don't know is something that's bad. It's bad.
No, absolutely. There
They're
is
like the
there's
Croods. It's bad.
like the which one?
The Croods. It's
The
a cartoon.
Croods.
Watch it.
Okay. But yeah. So I mean, these guys were. I mean, and again, these guys, aside from being jumping in there and being kind of tone deaf on everything, and I mean, we know these guys are not just tone deaf in regards to when they go to things like POEC. So also before we got to the whole craziness at the OCDSB, Dee and I decided to go take a drive around Ottawa to go check out bridges.
Because they
Didn't
were
queue up.
all going to plan on waving their flags on bridges.
They were going to plan on waving their flags on bridges, but we got the one. I didn't queue up the video for it, but we did see what our one friend there, Claude, who's got a tinfoil hat, waves a flag, is always standing on guard for.
Camilla calls him creepy. Creepy dude.
I'm sure she may not have just one. She may have a list of creepy dudes. I'm sure she can name them all.
She does.
She's smart.
But he's the creepiest, I think, for her because he keeps coming up to her really close and like saying stuff. He does it to me too. It's creepy. Just like that guy who like whispered in my, or not whisper, he spoke right in my ear and then came around and grabbed my phone. Like, ew, they're creepy.
Yeah. Oh no, there are some creepy ones. So, but even while we were at, so when we were at the Iranian protests, by the way, absolutely incredible protest.
Powerful.
These are powerful. These ones are definitely grassroots, and I got the chance to see the first one back, I believe, in October, which was really incredible to see.
Yeah, we were there.
And then the second one we just came across because as we were driving up to Parliament, we were thinking about, you know, we're going to go see if there's, you know, if the local crew decide to go up to Wellington. As we're pulling up, we get up to Supreme Court, which I was able to show Dina. This is the Supreme Court of Canada. The footage, you can actually hear me. Yes, that is the Supreme Court of Canada. This is where it's located. But as we got in there, we pulled in there, and I also learned rather quickly that when we're going anywhere with Dina, make sure you're prepared to jump out of the car and get ready to film right away because she was gone straight to the line. So I've recently made some changes to my equipment that allows me to actually do that now a little bit quicker. Everything's with quick release clips.
You know what? In January and February,
you were an engineering challenge.
In January and February, I had all of my clothes to go protesting, counter protesting the convoy. Had all my battery packs in there. I had a water bottle in there. Like it was always by the door, so that when I needed to get out quickly because something was happening, I was out in 5 minutes. Like Battle of Billings. I was folding laundry when I read that tweet and I'm like, what? I just ran downstairs, put on my gear, and I was there within like 10 minutes, like done.
So I think in the short future, I will have a special video I will make with Dina explaining how to make your bug out protest
activist
bag.
On the ready.
Yeah, activist on the ready protest bug out bag. All your essentials ready to go. One bag, off you go.
Done.
Be easy enough to do.
Okay, so let's see the POEC.
So for you want to go up to POEC.
Is that the next one? I thought, what order are we going in? I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, POEC. I think we're just gonna go next one. I kind of went to the only other thing was to go back.
Protest. That's right.
Yeah, back to the Iranian protests. It's just
I have ADD.
Going back to the point of these guys are a little bit tone deaf in regards to no matter what the context, no matter what the room is, it's always just about them. And this here is a great demonstration of exactly that.
Everything.
Yeah.
Just really quickly, the Iranian protest moved from the Supreme Court of Canada, and now we are about to turn into, went down Wellington, we're about to turn into Parliament Hill. And this is what happens.
This lady wants to tell these people there's communism here. Yeah, there is communism. Yeah, beat it. Beat it. China. Beat it. China. Beat it. Come on, guys. Justice for Iran.
So you might not have heard, but she actually gets in this lady's face, because you can't really hear it in the video. And she's like,
you couldn't.
You know, we have communism in Canada. Are you even kidding me right now? And they got there's a lady that's behind me that you don't see with her husband, who's Iranian, and she's white Canadian. He's Iranian Canadian. And she started to cry. She was saying, this lady needs to fuck right off. She's so fucking tone deaf. It's like she couldn't hold her tongue. I can't either, but she's the type of person clearly that will hold her tongue because she apologized. And she just said, and she started crying. Like, people are dying in Iran. They told that story. Like, you just listen. They told a story of a 10-year-old boy that was shot and killed, and the family couldn't bring the 10-year-old boy to the morgue because the army, the government would have stolen the body because they're trying to hide their atrocities. So the family members and the neighbors took ice and ice packs from their freezers to keep his little body cold until they could properly bury him. This is what's fucking happening in Iran. There's 16,000 people sentenced to death right now, or whatever, for their participation. 1,500, including 17 children in November, who were shot dead, probably more, but this is what we know. There's an internet blackout there. The government has completely taken over and are killing their civilians. And you want to fucking stand there and tell this woman that your issues in your free country, the country that she is protesting in right now on behalf of the people who can't do it safely, who are going to probably lose their lives doing it, and you want to fucking say China? Go fuck yourself. Excuse me, no kid should be around. Now I'm angry. And
I marked these channels to be mature audience.
That pissed me right off.
We're allowed any language, just no adult content, so we're good. No, I completely agree. I mean, to try to equate whatever these convicts believe their issues are to the same things. I was like, oh no, we're suffering just as bad as the Iranians. The Iraqis. Sorry, not the Iraqis. As much as the Iranians, as much as the Ukrainians. Like, actual issues where people are dying in huge numbers from either an army coming into your country or an oppressive government in your country. And in both these situations, there is massive atrocities. These are Hague level war crimes going on in both countries. Like from just killing the civilians, whether it be from war crimes or from just actual.
You yell freedom for a fucking mask. Fuck right off.
Yeah, well, these guys are yelling freedom for, and it's like, we have no freedoms, yet you're allowed to come down, you're allowed to protest, you're allowed to wave your flag, and the entire time you're doing all this thing, you're gonna go home, complain that you're not free, and you're gonna live still out of jail, still alive.
No fear for your life.
Fear for your life.
Absolutely none.
None of these guys, these protesters in Iraq, the ones that were protesting, knew that they could be giving up their lives. In many cases, there's a couple of videos I saw, some just horrific, where the police are running into houses and just killing people.
Just killing families, full-on families. Well, listen. The good news, maybe you guys don't know this, but the lady that was behind me, we ended up together standing on the ledge of the Eternal Flame. And one of her friends comes over and tells her the story. And I thought the internet was really bad everywhere. I have a feeling that was intentional. This is everywhere in the country. So I don't know if it was because all these protests were going on. And it's not a conspiracy theory. Just, I've never had that happen to my phone. And I was watching other people's streams and they were having the same problems. So it's kind of weird. But anyways, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
But it did I watched my stream again and it did black out at that time, but just take my word for it. And because you'll see later on in my stream that Jonathan Rowe acknowledged it. The lady comes and tells her friend that she walked over to Dirksen, who had a pole with the Canada flag and the Iranian flag. And she said, you take our flag down. You don't represent us. You don't know what it means not to have freedom. And you are not welcome here. And off he goes. He had to leave. They all had to leave. And so when I came out with Camilla to go to the bathroom at the building that's behind there where they stand, one idiot turns around and says to me, oh, you missed them. They're over there. I said, you know what I didn't miss? I didn't miss the fact that you guys were kicked out of there because you tried to fucking appropriate a real cause again because you're fucking tone deaf. And Jonathan Rowe, I've never seen him not say anything. That guy talks all the time. And he just nodded and he was like, yep. And they fucked off down Wellington towards the Supreme Court, that direction anyway.
No, absolutely. I mean, these, again, as we said before, these guys are just not. It's. I mean, we've seen these guys many times before, and many times we'll still see them. It's very much their issue is their issue, and they only see their issue. It's some sort of a victimhood, and it's one of those things I do want to see a little bit more and understand a little bit more, because I mean, did this feeling exist with these guys for a long time before?
Yeah, it's called victimhood. Everything is everybody else's issue, and so they're trying to make friends everywhere to everybody. Oh, everybody, you're oppressed. I'm oppressed.
Yeah.
We have something in common. Let's be oppressed together and let's fight the man. Like that's there. That it is a trait. 100%. It is who these people are. Because I've met a lot of people before they became this version of themselves, and yeah, they complain about the fact that they have to work all the time. And listen, all of us wish that we could have. I'm a huge believer in universal basic income so that people can actually go to school for what they want to go to school for and become what they want to become without having to work these stupid robotic jobs that we have to do just, whatever. We're lucky if we get into something that we want to get into because we've had that access, right? I believe in that. But we also know that this is life, and all they do is complain about that situation and really do nothing to improve that situation. And it's everybody else's fault. It's the government's fault, or it's, whatever, my ex-wife's fault that I can't see my kids, or it's, I was stolen from this place and I can't be a good person because of that for the next fucking 30 years of my life or 45 years of my life. It's a crutch. They find a crutch, they hold on to the crutch, and then they find other people who have actual problems and think that they're the same. And you're not the same, people.
I was born in the 80s and I was part of the 60s scoop.
Listen, maybe those things happened. I don't know. Like,
well, there's a TARDIS involved.
She was taken.
I have no doubt that, being taken, sure. But you can't be taken in the 60s scoop if you're born in the 80s.
I don't know enough to be. I'm going to be.
I'm not saying you can't.
I don't know enough, and I need to become a better ally by educating myself. In fact, I just read 7 Fallen Feathers by Tanya Talaga, which is amazing. But I'm reading. My mom gave it to me. She just finished Jody Wilson-Raybould's new book, and I got to hear about it on CBC. So I'm looking forward to reading. It's the Indian in the Cabinet. Looking forward to that. Yeah. Brand new book. Yep.
Excellent.
I have a lot of learning to do because our school system didn't do a very good job with us.
No, I was lucky in a couple of school places I was at that actually was able to pick and learn a couple of things that weren't common to learn.
Yeah.
For example, I was able to learn, about the Japanese internment camps in Canada. Like we all knew about the ones in the States,
Yeah,
but when I was in school,
internment
Canada had
know
Japanese
that.
internment camps. Yeah.
David Suzuki was, I think, 5 years old when he was in the Japanese internment.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
David Suzuki was
Love
yeah,
that
he
man,
was in
by
there.
the way.
Oh yeah. And my understanding he's gonna be retiring soon, but he's not young, so I think he's allowed.
Yeah. You know who I love? We'll just sidebar.
All right, total
I
sidebar.
love today's witnesses. Our government,
Mm-hmm.
they're smart ass people, man. These people were hardcore, intelligent, well spoken, thoughtful, and man, Anita Anand, like she doesn't put up with shite. I'm impressed with Omar Al Ghabra. Like honestly, like I haven't been paying attention to legislature or them being, voting and all of those other things. I'm too busy with this minutia while they take care of the bigger stuff. But
we have a fair amount of minutia going on too.
There is a lot. But those guys were fantastic. And I have a lot of confidence in, there's a lot of problems within our government. There's a lot of things I'd like for them to do, like proportional representation. But I really do appreciate the people who are in the high level of our government right now and their thoughtfulness.
I appreciate the ones that are. I'm also happy about the ones that are not in power right now. Oops, thank you.
Yes.
So speaking of POEC, I heard something interesting happened there. So I got the 2 video clips. I'm going to skip the first one because that's sort of the one that's happened in there. That's not the one we care about. I know the one everybody wants. I'm going to give the people what they want. And by want, we know what we want to see.
The commission has reconvened. La commission reprend.
Sir, okay, the commission counsel has not completed her
I understand,
presentation.
but sir, and your counsel's advised you that,
No,
I know you've directed, you wanted the application.
I'm speaking.
Yes, sir.
The application, if you want to do it, you've been advised it's to be done in writing, not in the middle of the
Sir, we
presentation.
filed 2 motions in
So
writing
I'm-
at your
I'm
direction
sorry.
that you've refused to rule on with respect to the redaction
you're-
of documents from the government of Canada.
You're
That
speaking,
has
I'm
not been
speaking.
ruled on, and they've been
Okay.
filed for days.
I will take a break while you're asked to
Sir.
leave. I will return in 5 minutes if security could deal with the council.
Commission de recess. La commission est levée.
What an entitled bitch. What a fucking entitled little bitch. What the fuck is that even?
I think he was very impassioned with his point.
Bullshit. He, again, with these convites, it's planned. They want to be like, look at me, I'm in charge, whatever, and I'm going to speak whatever. Oh, you're going to kick me out? I'm a fucking victim again because you are lying or you're this or that. It has nothing to do with the fact that these are the rules. And Brendan knows that these are the rules, but he's putting on a fucking show for his convite fucking audience.
Well, hang on. If that was the case, then you'd see him pout after. Hang on, I got a clip. Because of course I would.
You can come outside.
There's Adam.
Oh, that's right. You know the security guys.
Yeah, well, don't have your off sticks with me, okay?
Look, they're running after him.
Chris, microphone. Right there.
The commission consistently directs that we are to make
So quickly as Susie gets out there, he's like, yeah, you should come outside and come talk to me. Because of course, he's going to be doing a full press conference and the whole thing. And he was there for, I think, about 5-10 minutes. I am impressed that he's doing it. Oh, looks like we have a cat joining us.
Yeah, it's Frank. It's all good.
He did do about 5 minutes, sort of explain his side to the whole thing. And again, I'm not going to rule the whole thing, although I do side with the commissioner in regards to there's process, there's procedure, and there's just decorum you have. Even though this is not a courtroom, it is being conducted the same way as a court.
He's the moderator. He's the commissioner.
He's a commissioner, and he's got the power of a judge anyways. He's got the power to remove you, as he definitely showed. He removed his ass. Thank you. And with good reason. I mean, like, you're yelling at the judge because you're not being listened to. Do you think that's going to work? Like, has that ever worked? Berating a judge?
And and then they tried to say it was JCCF, I think, it was JCCF. I'm pretty sure. We really want Brendan to come back because the convoyers need their representation. And the commissioner's like, they still have representation. It's a whole law firm. Like, Sheba is there, and whatever that other person's name is.
Well,
anyway,
yeah,
the commissioner let him back in. So that's what I was for yesterday.
So I did see him. Yeah, he came back in the next day, and to be honest, I have no problems with that. You know, and I completely understand in regards to the commissioner saying, you know what, you're right today.
Keith Wilson did
go cool off, come back tomorrow, and we'll see how you're doing.
Yeah,
he did. That's good. That's fine. I have no problem.
He still didn't
with that.
get what he wanted, though.
No.
And for good reason. I don't know if you guys saw this Sean Fox. Are you playing it? You're gonna play it? We can link
Sean
it.
Fox. I can.
So Sean
I can bring it up.
Fox is the witness that he wanted to bring up. This guy is like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He's like not even a corroborating witness. He doesn't even corroborate what Brendan was trying to say was going to come out of this witness testimony.
Well, what was he saying that he was going to be able to come up with? Like this guy was supposed to give.
He tried to say that it's Brian Fox, and this guy is going to testify that it's Brian Fox from Canada Enterprise. Meanwhile, this dude was on War Campaign today, and the Zot or whatever ended up filming him back in February when he was part of the convoy. And this guy is like saying stuff like the guy with the Nazi flag was carrying the Nazi flag.
Wait. I got that part. Hang on.
Okay.
I do have that part. So.
Good.
So I remember seeing
the media says there's racism here. Is there racism?
Okay, let me tell you something about that. It's funny that you ran into me of all people.
Apparently.
Okay? I was here the first day, Ground Zero. I actually spoke on stage. I actually saw the guy with the swastika flag.
So it was a real thing.
It was a real thing. But this is what they didn't tell you. He was going around with the flag saying, "Is this what you want for our country?
Really?
This is what Trudeau is going to turn our flag into if we allow this draconian fascism to continue. Is this what you want the maple leaf to be replaced by? This is what we're heading to, people." And he was speaking with a European accent. So I'm thinking that he came from a country that knows about fascism, because we don't know it. You know, we're just oblivious to it, and we don't see the slow incremental movements that they're making towards this total, you know, I don't know even what to call it. It's got so many labels. You know, we know what it is. It's a push towards this new world order of total submission and control. You know, stripping citizens of their rights, stripping them of their firearms, stripping us of our dignity. You know, stripping us of our fundamental freedoms. And you take a look at it. You've got this thing that's.
Yeah. So
I think you stripped your own dignity, buddy. You did that all on your own.
Yeah. So it's interesting because this really ties back to what we were saying right at the beginning, or just earlier on, which is that constant fear. Be afraid. Be afraid. Somebody's gonna be taking this away from you. Be afraid. They're trying to kill you.
Afraid. Oh my God. If I was them, like, I don't even know how they leave their homes every day.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're absolutely right. It's constantly just the be afraid. We're out to kill you. Be afraid. Be afraid. Be afraid.
Be afraid of ultraviolet light. Be afraid of masks, breathing in CO2. Be afraid of vaccines and 5G and alien people and lizard people and
it's like it's unbelievable.
The New World Order. Like, what other taglines do they have? It's so nonsensical.
Pharaohs.
Numerology.
Well, I haven't got the numerology one yet, but
Well, I don't know. They were trying to say 5s and 3s and 4s or whatever on the bench.
Oh yeah. No. It's. I mean, there's all sorts of crazy stuff these guys are doing. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But
They're
I mean,
trying to make connections with everything.
Oh, absolutely. It is, and they're attempting to make connections with everything in regards to it's all connected to 5G, and 5G is the one that actually causes a virus. The virus spreads, and the vaccine gets you into microchips.
Airplanes, seeding.
Chemtrails. Chemtrails, because and the chemtrails one kind of bugs me a little bit more. Again, we all get our weird things that kind of bug us. This one, it bugs me a bit. Just because I have a basic understanding of physics in regards to if I was to actually equip an airplane to generate that much vapor to follow an airplane, you wouldn't have room for passengers or anything else or engines. Like, it's just.
Well, they do cloud seed. Those are cloud seeding planes. They do that on purpose. They do
cloud seeding, but cloud seeding doesn't use that much. Cloud seeding is usually to take the clouds that are there and just try to push them up. Like, you're not building a cloud. That's a huge amount of water. That's a huge amount of energy. You're just trying to activate the ones that are there if there's enough humidity up there. So, but again, these guys don't have a very basic sense of science. This is where I come back to the idea of, like, they fill in science with magic in regards to their understanding of how things work.
Yeah.
They believe a vaccine can have a microchip hidden in there that can track your location across the world. They, as well as, there's viruses coming out of the 5G networks because reasons. Yeah. But back to the POEC and the crazy stuff. Let me see if I can share one thing with you guys here. This one I did not get ready for you guys. So I apologize for being less than fully prepared on this guy here. So it appears Mr. Brendan Miller may be having a bit of problems with regards to his accusation that
he actually responded to this, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. In regards to Brian Fox, because Brian Fox is the whole, he was the one guy who came down to Ottawa and carried the Nazi flag and caused all sorts of kerfuffle.
For Trudeau,
no less, because, when you're that dedicated to Trudeau,
owning the convoyers,
he will come all the way down to carry a Nazi flag to a convoy.
Forget about the fact that Barber has Confederate flags at home. And it's just so far off that anybody else would be carrying Confederate flags. It must have been Trudeau's people that came and did that. It couldn't be a convite. You
have 12,000 people, or if you ask Pat King, millions. Somehow, these guys are now trying to bring in, like, these, what I say, half-believed things. But unfortunately, when you start lying, especially in a legal setting like this, you start setting yourself up for what's called libel.
Yeah.
And in this case here, Brendan's been served.
He's been is this a cease and desist letter? I don't think that's not being served. That's just being told to stop, and that we are planning on serving you. You get served by application. So this is just like the beginning. Possibly they might not move forward with it. It's like, you better retract your statement.
You're right. I think this is the warning shot. It does come out of the final statement saying a formal libel notice is forthcoming, and we expressly preserve all our clients' legal rights and remedies. So this is pretty much a stern warning.
Standard, though. Yeah, standard cease and desist letter. Lawyers don't give a shit about cease and desist letters, but what Brendan's argument about this was that you can say these things in a court or whatever because it's a fact finding. So he thinks he's protected by making any claim he wants by being in that sort of a setting. And I'm not sure how valuable that is or valid that is, because I'm not a lawyer. But I would imagine that there's got to be some limits to that. Like you can't just blurt out anything that on national TV. Like it's being streamed. He knows he has a national audience. He's not doing this shit in good faith at all.
No, and it's
bullshit because he asks people things that they can't answer because, like, he's asking witnesses, like people who aren't even witness or party to certain conversations, and he says it in a way that is his narrative, like he's telling a story through his questions, and then they can't answer, and then the convites are like, they don't want to answer the question, and it's like, okay, like, is that really how you see it? You're that fucking stupid? Like
it is stupid. Yeah, it is a weird kind of thing that, so this particular commission, I mean, if you look at it strictly at the commission thing, there is an audience in regards to the public that gets to watch this thing. And let's be honest, the majority of the public will watch the big events, like they watched when the convoys went, oh, kitty. But aside from that, that's pretty much it. They're going to watch the convoys. They might watch Trudeau, and and if Ford was to show up, he would. Man, they might have watched the mayors. Particularly, we've got people in Ottawa would have watched the mayors and certain city councilors.
Yeah.
So now he might have some more convites watching, and I'm sure he's making a show for them. But what I don't quite understand is, unless he's trying to make his clients happy and just showboating because that's what they want, the showboating itself isn't going to really affect the commission too much. It's still going to be the commissioner who's going to be taking all the information, making his final assessment, and presenting to the government.
It doesn't matter. He gets paid the same no matter what. None of this matters to him. These are grifters. He's there to put on a show, to validate the biases that these people have. They're not on a fact-finding mission. They're never on a fact-finding mission. If they were, they'd shut the fuck up at the board meeting and listen to the professionals who are telling you as they see it.
No, I was talking about Commissioner Rollo. He's on the fact-finding mission.
He is, but he knows that Brendan's just playing this stupid game. But what are you going to keep saying? No, when you're in that position, like, and you have to keep saying no to a specific person, even though they're wrong all the time, there comes a point where they think you're just picking on them now, or the people who are watching thinks they're picking on them. So it's like, you just sit back and allow this stupid 5 minutes to roll on while they make asses of themselves, slam their laptops, strut around like pigeons, and act like they've won something, and everybody's left wondering what the fuck just even happened. Like what? But if you go on the chats of these convites and they think that this guy's a superstar. Tom Marazzo keeps putting these stupid TikToks out talking about how great Brendan was. Tom, you're fucking smarter than that, I hope. Like, I honestly thought, and you say no, and it's like, what? Honestly, I didn't know these people like I know them now, but when I first saw the group of them doing their press conferences back in January and February, I was honestly afraid, because I'm like, these are military people, these are CSIS people, these are police, like sniper, like of that, a Trudeau ex-detail guy or whatever he is, security. These are you'd think, I mean, I guess, don't judge a book by their
I'm sure they're very good at the skilled careers that they've picked up in those particular skills, but
maybe that's why they're not that anymore. Maybe they had to leave that because they couldn't handle that shit, or they weren't that good. I don't know. I have no idea. But I honestly thought that they were smart people, and that we were in some ways we were going to be fucked. Like, it was scary. And thank God that the government invoked the Emergencies Act. And I still feel that way. And even more so listening to the government speak to, all of, and not just the government, the last friggin' month of testimony, we know 100%. Like, if you don't come to that resolution, then you're just making excuses for your behavior.
Well, but I mean, I think the CSIS director was the one that sort of really put it into the in sort of.
Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting the CSIS to come through and actually.
He said they said they recommended it. I got to me at this point. I'm like, all right. So convites, what's your counter now?
Yeah, it's not
CSIS has now said it.
It's not Trudeau and pulling the strings. And it was funny that today when they were JCCF was trying to get Anita Anand to admit that if she were to disagree with Trudeau, she would have to leave cabinet or whatever. And man, like they just got eaten alive today. They were up against people who were way smarter than them. And we're way more skilled at handling their stupidity. Like I admire them because you know my behavior. I'd just be like calling him a fucking idiot. You're just a fucking idiot. Like shut the fuck up, you idiot.
Short answer to that is yes, I have met you.
Yeah. Are you still talking, you idiot? The guy made such a fool of himself today too. Like I think he had a crush on Anita. Like he was in her class. He said he had a B-, or he was like working on a B-. I think he was like full of shit and he was doing a C-, but he didn't want to flex too hard.
No.
But yeah, he just looked like he was blushing and like then tried to make a joke and her face did not even change. And he just was, the room was silent and it was like, oops, poor you.
Oh, these guys are a special bunch. I mean, it's.
They all have histories too, like these criminal records or these like really shady, crazy shit they did. You've got Sujit Chaudhry, who was like sexually harassing someone and had lost his job at Berkeley or wherever he was. You have Alan Hodder, who was like convicted of his role in kidnapping some woman who they tried to deprogram, who wanted nothing of the sort. Then you got that idiot guy from JCCF, president, who hired a PI to stalk the Minister of Health in Alberta. Like, these people are genuine fucked up crazy. They're like, and they can't get, I can't wait to find out what Brendan Miller's history is, because I'm sure there's something going on there. There's something there.
No, I have a feeling it's not going to be anything more than just some lawyer from the West.
We shall see.
I could be proven wrong. I'm being the nice guy because
that's okay.
We've established what we are, but I'm okay with the idea that he might just be that. I mean, show me some other people. I'm like, yeah, no. Some of these guys are dirtbags. Absolutely, I'll definitely agree with you on some of them. Like, yeah, these ones for sure. Brendan Miller, I'm like, there might be something, but I'm still I
think maybe he was part of some frat house or something, and there might be something more to him.
Sorry, a crack house or frat house?
Frat house. Something like that. I think there's more to him. I think we will find out. Keep this in your memory bank, you guys.
I will. It'll probably leak by the end of the night because nothing is very good in there. But you'll remind me. I know it. But we've got this. Is this the last week or coming up close to the last week?
Done. Friday, we're done. November 25th is the last week of testimony, and then everybody goes and does their thing. And then December 9th is when they make their submissions to like what is it now?
February is when it is. So
February 14th is when the commission comes out. And then, okay, so this is important. So let's talk about this.
The only before we get to that, because I know where you're going. So in that case, JT's coming in this week, right?
Friday. Right. Tomorrow is Chrystia Freeland, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland, and Friday.
What time are you going to be there tomorrow and Friday?
I will be there for 9th. I'm going to be there. I'm dropping my daughter off at school for 8:15, and I'm trying to be there by 8:45 because I'm going inside. I'm not standing outside. Freedom Baby is going to stay home, but I'll be right inside. And then going out for breaks, of course. Mm-hmm. And then I plan on staying till the end. And then Friday.
Are you bringing Freedom Baby or you're not bringing Freedom Baby?
I am not. If I brought Freedom Baby, I'd be stuck outside.
That's true.
So I'm going inside.
All right, we'll talk after this. I may or may not show up because if I show up, I bring gear.
Yeah.
But I do have availability, so let me know if I should show up with gear.
Okay.
I may show up anyways. But that does bring us to the next point, which is, as you said, we have Freeland tomorrow.
Yep.
We've got JT on Friday.
Yep.
And that's the end of all the special guests, or just the
Special
end of the guests in general.
Yeah,
and then I guess they're going to be deliberating, or just deliberating on everything.
Like they have to go over their stuff, and then they have to submit, I think, their closing arguments, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what's happening in the next 2 weeks. But I know that Brendan had told me that December 9th is when they have to submit their suggestions, if you will,
right,
for how to improve the process. Yeah. And I think the act itself, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'm broadening what he said. I'm expanding on what he said, but I have a feeling that's what it's about. But I think they do have to have closing arguments.
It's not a. And I recall that conversation you mentioned that you had with him, and his one recommendation I still remember is the one where he thought that they should extend it from 6 months to longer.
No, 12 months to 20. It's 12 months. You have to have the investigation completed.
Yeah.
The inquiry, excuse me, completed. So February 14th, I think, is when they invoke the act.
Right.
Of 2022, and that's why February 14th of 2023 is when the findings have to be sent out.
And I don't disagree with him in regards to the idea that that's too short or too quick. I'm like, you know what? He's not. I can't. There's many things we can disagree with him on in regards to it, but I'm like, he mentioned that it's a very quick process in regards to getting all your information, getting all your case material, getting everything else in place. You know what? I can't argue with him on that. That's not a terrible thing to disagree with. Now, with that being said, they're going to be finishing off the inquiries, and they're going to be doing their closing arguments, and then by February 14th, the entire thing is going to be done and handed over to it.
Yep.
So, and of course, it's going to happen very peacefully. Nobody's going to have anything to say about it. Nobody's going to do a squat about it. I mean, come on. This is a quiet, peaceful place. Not anybody would ever think of doing anything. At all. No. Not even Mr. James Bowder.
Fuck him.
Of Canada Unity wouldn't think of coming back between February 11th to 28th for Operation Bear Hug 2, or AKA Freedom Convoy 2.0, to coincide with the end of the inquiry.
Yeah, they want to do a 1-year anniversary, and they want to make it a national thing. They want to make it an annual thing.
And it's not even, he's more than just made a posting about it. He made a poster.
Yeah. I think we need to block the highways or block their access. Fuck you. You're not coming in. I don't give a shit. We have the right to protest too. Fuck them. We need to all come out and be like, not today, son.
So,
fuck you.
This does make me think of a couple of things. One other thing too is because of course it's not going to be Canadian freedom without the American flag in there involved somehow.
For fuck's sake, them and their stupid American fucking flags. They're so dumb. And their gun, like they talk fucking First Amendment, Second Amendment. It's like you are in the wrong country. Get the fuck out. Look how they put the flag. This is the best part. Canada, it's Canada Freedom, but all we get is like the grate of the truck where all the flies and moths and all that shit that you catch when you're driving down, all that dirt goes in there. But the Americans get this big ass flag, like probably takes up 2/3 of the area of this picture.
Oh, no, great.
You love that?
Oh, yeah.
They want to be Americans.
But I mean, even still, in regards to this guy here, I mean, he's definitely trying to get in there. But so I got thoughts. I have them sometimes. First of them is,
yes, Bowder's wife left him.
Oh yes, we can get into the dirty details of the personal stuff after. But one, this is a message to everybody in Ottawa, both local and local government as well as just the individuals. Last time we heard about the convoy, we were completely surprised and unprepared. Let's be honest, we never had anything like that come in the city. That's not really the fault of anybody. We are going through the entire thing as to where the failures were in regards to why we weren't able to address it, but I'm willing to.
Nothing's done yet on their part. That in the testimony, we hear that they're still looking at what has happened. They're not ready for this to happen again. I have no fucking faith. They're not ready. The fact that CSIS, I'm glad CSIS is the one that made the recommendation. But the fact that CSIS, during their testimony with Paul Champ, doesn't think that a man coming from a completely different fucking province, armed with guns, body armor, coming down to a completely different province to shoot a mayor of a city that is not even his own, that has no control over anything that's fucking going on here on top of that. But he wants to come and kill this guy. Doesn't only just want to come and kill this guy, calls the guy or sends a message to the guy saying, I am coming to kill you. And that doesn't warrant CSIS to do an investigation. Like, I don't
literally anything. Yeah.
Anything. Like, he's not going to fall into the terrorist, domestic terrorist. He's not going to be the, what is it? What was their stupid 2B of the fucking CSIS? Whatever. Initiate an investigation.
Yep.
What in the fuck?
Oh, totally agreed. I mean,
they're not ready. They're not ready for this to happen.
And this is a bit of the frustrating. So an interesting thing that was brought up and it was mentioned. So in the Ottawa Activism Discord, so again, tied back to that, Sam Hirsch from Horizon Ottawa mentioned that on November 28th, there is going to be another Ottawa Police Services Board meeting. Okay. People can attend. They can listen. I wasn't quite clear. Sorry?
On Zoom, or is it in the gallery at City Hall?
I'm not sure. I saw the details at the Ottawa Police Service Board website, and Sam had a bit of information in regards to it. And he's been, from what I tweet I saw, he's been trying to find out if he can be also in there to speak. But I mean, for example, one of the questions I'd love to see if we can get somebody to ask is something as simple as, listen, there's the bear hug information right here.
Yeah.
Like, not even need to do anything in regards to it. This is it right here. They're trying to come to the city. Now, we had no clue before. We didn't know this. But shit, man, we sure as shit know what the hell happened the last time.
Yeah.
There is no doubt that if they can get a truck to Wellington, especially if those barricades aren't.
I mean, the barricades are there. We know the trucks aren't going on Wellington, but that's not the issue. The issue is them parking wherever the fuck they want in residential areas and then behaving in the fucking asinine way that they behaved in.
Agreed. And I don't believe that they're going to be coming at the same force as they did before. I don't think the conditions are quite the same. But you know what? We should prep for in case they can.
No, the people that are going to show up are going to be the worst of the worst. It's the Wellington dipshits who act like clowns and misbehave and assault people. Like, I know that off the bat they don't go and assault people, but once they are surrounded by all of that, they're back to their stupidity. Yeah, like they're back to their mob mentality. Making idiotic, asinine comments to people, like those testimonies that we heard today in the morning before they started with their witnesses. It's unreal that a 73-year-old woman would have her face tugged at because she's fucking wearing a mask in the O train. Like, what world do you fucking live in that you would do that to some random person you don't even know because they're wearing a mask and they are now your enemy? Like, we saw those people yesterday.
How do you feel threatened by a 73-year-old woman?
What's that?
How do you find yourself threatened by a 73-year-old woman?
100%. Like, give me it's so bizarre. And we saw that yesterday. Like, these were ugly, angry, disgusting people. And those are the people that are going to come, like the worst of the worst. And, you know, the stupid people that want to stream how dumb they are and like, whatever. You're right. We're not going to see, well, who knows? We might see it. Like, there were even kids there last night that were holding up their signs that, you know, I don't know if you saw Nuggs's TikTok. I saw it late this afternoon or whatever. That was funny.
So, I mean, this is kind of an interesting one, and it's kind of true. It's like, quite correct, Shauna. As they're not going to have Pat King, they're also not going to have Barbara. They're definitely not going to have Litch. And a couple of others. I think Benjamin's probably not going to be in there too. And
Tamara Litch is still here. She's still in Ottawa.
She's still in Ottawa, but I mean, like, she's not going to be. She's not going to be organized. She's not going to be participating because, she's going to be avoiding that completely. She might show up, kind of the way Barbara did.
Nobody likes Bridget Belton anymore either, because she's with Dreb Shep and Jane Sharp.
Yeah, there's a wonderful crew to be hanging out with. So she's going to be, you know, so they're going to be, they're not going to have quite the force. So, I mean, it's pretty much going to be Botter on his own in regards to the original crew. None of the other ones.
He doesn't have a wife anymore. But
yeah, so he's got time.
Family responsibility anymore.
He doesn't have that.
I don't know. I don't even think. I feel like that guy is on one of those manic stages, where and he's going to hit the depression part soon, because I really think that he's that he has that kind of mental health problem. I think he might have manic depression or bipolar, but severe, and he's not taking medication for it. And so I wonder if he's even going to be able to get out of bed by the time February comes. I'm not sure, to be honest. Like, I feel like he's in a manic phase, and it's just going to, he's going to crash and burn. We'll see, because everything's falling apart around him. He's not getting any love. He's not getting any love.
There's,
I mean, he's getting a little bit, but
yeah. I mean, I've been trying to sort of get an idea in regards to what's going on. And if you watch some of the postings, you're seeing some activity and some response to him. Unfortunately, I don't have a sense of what the original response was like to get a good gauge. And I still feel that it's not going to be the same. Like, it's the conditions of what caused the original is not here.
We still need to come out.
Oh, yeah.
We say that, but what we saw at yesterday's thing, and just on that note, before I forget, because I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Yesterday, they showed up at the school board, and there was about 200 of them there. I mean, there was some of us that were there too, but let's say 200 of them showed up. Scott Cameron, is that his name? Yeah. Just fucking put on Facebook that they want to go to CHEO now. And they want to go inside CHEO's emergency and take pictures to prove that nothing is actually happening in there the way we're being told, that we're all being lied to. So they all want to fucking show up to CHEO. We cannot fucking allow that to happen. And that's a question I would like to ask the police. What are you going to do about these fucking people who continuously harass the first of all, show up? They want to protest. That's one thing. Why are they allowed to use their bullhorns? Why are they allowed to play their speakers super loud right in front of Parliament? And then they want to go and harass people at the Civic Hospital. We saw that with Daisy and the fucking rest of them when Bozena got yoinked. And now they want to show up at the Children's fucking Hospital. It's not on. Like, it's not on. I will be there. And I promise them, anywhere you fucking pop up, you will find me. I found a video. Just I'm gonna show you. Somebody posted it again on their TikTok. Like, I made a promise. You guys are gone from Tupac. You're packing up and leaving. And anywhere you decide to fucking pop up again, you know I will be there. They are not going to CHEO unchecked. We cannot allow that to fucking happen. We cannot.
No, agreed. I totally agree. I mean, these guys, it's true. We can't do this alone. We can't. I mean, they have now gotten themselves emboldened to the point that they feel they can go into a children's hospital
to
go check to see the beds. Yeah, they've shut down meetings with OCDSB. Sorry, this.
OCDSB, yeah.
Okay, I got it right. They shut down OCDSB meeting, threatened the trustees in there.
Yep.
They're now threatening to go into children's hospitals to go check on the children, to find out the beds are there, because they don't believe the doctors. They want to go in there, and of course, this is a hospital. I'm sorry. Of sacred places, I always view a hospital sort of
like children.
Not even debating the children part. I view the hospitals in general to be sacred enough. Children, I completely agree. Even more so. Like, unless you're going in there dressed as a clown to go make some kids smile. If you're going in there for your own selfish reasons, get the fuck out.
Camilla and I go to that hospital at least twice a year, more because we end up in emergency. We've been in emergency twice, probably on average a year.
Sure.
But she also had kidney surgery. So before that, because she had an obstruction, we had to go every year to see the progress or the whatever opposite of progress. She also had windblown hands when she was born. So we had to go to the occupational therapist. Like, we go to that hospital a lot. It is one of the most amazing places that you can go, whether you're going for emergency and emergency is hard because you're there for, like they said, 13 hours is where you're at for non-emergent, like emergency, but you're waiting 13 hours. Imagine sitting in these hospital chairs with your kid for 13 hours waiting to be seen. And they want to go and they want to make it harder and they want to disrupt what's already happening. Like, it's not on. I'm telling you, like, I am more fired up than any other fucking thing. They fucking show up there. I swear to God, they're lucky the general hospital is right next fucking door. That's all I'm going to say about that. Not playing.
Still not going to need to bail you up for some reason. And this could be a good one for any other reason.
Could be that day.
But the second one that's right now the most important and relevant to me is we can't do this alone. We cannot be the only ones showing up. And this is one of the reasons why I've got the Ottawa Activism Discord set up. I'm going to be increasing it a little bit more. I'm going to verify some of the people and tag them as verified sources like Sam Hirsch and so on. To also have areas that they can start posting activism and information in regards to what's going on in the city. And I want to get more people who want to get involved into the activism to come join us in this Discord so that they can start getting those calls to action in regards to, hey, Convoy's going to be starting showing up there. We're going to need to start showing numbers because you know what? Their numbers are going to start increasing. They already started increasing a little bit more than what they had at Tupac. Ever since they started going into more events, they're trying to pick up more people. Yeah. And if they're the only voice that people are seeing at these boards, then what's to say that these people don't start seeing them as the actual voice?
And not only that, I sent an so somebody gave me an idea. One of my followers, I want to thank them very much. They sent an email to the chairperson. They were talking through Twitter, to the chairperson that evicted or asked me to leave the meeting yesterday because I'm telling the guy that's outbursting to get out, shut up, or whatever. Right. I didn't even say shut up. I listened back to my live. Stop talking or whatever. So, and they did it like they showed me not exactly, but they showed me what they had explained to Lyra or whatever, the chairperson. So I also wrote an email, and I won't get into what the email says. I mean, we can if you want to, but the point is the response that I got. Just really quickly, I basically told them that I'm not angry. I was disappointed that I was asked to leave. And that I chair meetings as part of my job description. In fact, I'm chairing a meeting next week, so I might join late next Wednesday. But I chair difficult meetings. That's what I do as part of my job. And so I appreciate how difficult it can be. But the difference, though, is that I explained to Lyra that I follow these people. I know them by name. I know their backgrounds. I know how they behave towards me and towards other people. And I know that there is never going to be an opportunity for them to rise above. They are not those people. They will not rise above. It doesn't matter. This was a full-on intentional plan to come and sabotage that meeting, and sadly they won. I apologize for playing a role in that because I said something out loud to the person, so I'm sorry. I also delayed the meeting by refusing to leave until the police came, so I definitely played a role in it in extending that meeting. However, I believe, and what I said to her was that, but I don't think that I should have been ejected, and the same discipline should have been put on me as was put onto that gentleman. And then you see people being loud as I'm leaving and outburst, and it's all okay. And that asshole who comes and serves them, like all of a sudden, no, we're not listening anymore. So it didn't make sense how things happen, but whatever, it's all good. They all got ejected eventually, which they knew that they were going to, because they wanted to stop the fucking meeting, and they succeeded. Now, the point I want to make really quickly is, Lyra sent me an email back, and basically that email said that I had to ask you to leave because we were one step away or something like that from it becoming a, what term did she use? A brawl or a riot? A riot. And so they were genuinely afraid, and Dr. Nilly Kaplan should be afraid.
Right, yeah.
Because Ari, the fucking piece of shit that's already assaulted women, including myself, and stalked her and followed her and pulled out her flyers and put his own fucking propaganda in there instead. Like, that guy's fucking cuckoo bananas. These people are threatening to kill these people. So yeah, they should be afraid. And so that can't be how their work life is going to be from now on, that they have to cower from making decisions and doing it openly and transparently, which is what we want out of a democracy, right? You cannot have somebody afraid. That's the anti-democracy.
Yep.
That's
ruling
what
through fear
does to his opponents. That's what Khomeini does to his opponents. That's what, like, Bolsonaro does to his opponents. Like, so that's how you guys want to behave, and you want to say freedom? That's not democracy. You're not allowing for that proper dialogue, proper debate. You just want to shut the shit down and threaten people that if they make the wrong decision. How many threats did we hear in POEC?
Oh, agreed.
Like, fuck you guys. Fuck you. So that we can't let this happen anymore. We got to come out, you guys. Like, we have to show everybody that we are the majority, not just on the keyboard, not just whatever, just come out. That doesn't have to be every week. But for these big ones where if they actually plan to go to CHEO, I want to see everybody out. Everybody needs to come out. We just put a wall around that hospital.
Especially with right now Twitter being still
Twitter's disgusting right now.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
I had a whole section ready for Twitter discussion too. I knew I wasn't sure if we could get into it.
No, we're almost done here.
But
roll over for next week. It's not going to get any better by next week, Joe.
No, it's not. And more than likely, we're going to have some new stuff by next week.
It might be dead by then.
Yeah, it might be dead. We might be talking about something completely different at that point. Either case, but
no, we'll be talking about Twitter being dead.
Oh, more than likely, for sure. This is how Elon killed it. News at 11. Yeah, no, but in the interim, though, I do want to see if we can get some more people coming into the activism group. I'm going to post the URL to it again through Twitter, Facebook, all the usual places. We're going to start organizing it this week and this weekend, and try to.
Tupac.
Sorry,
and everybody was coming out of Tupac. I'll bring my chairs again, you guys. I'll bring my
chairs.
I brought chairs, and every time people came, we just sat and chat. We didn't do anything. We just talked and had shot the shit. That was it. That's fun.
Exactly. But numbers help. Numbers show that they are not the only voice. Because right now, especially like last night's, when we're seeing so few numbers, It's tough. It's tough to try to show that
They
this is
called,
not
like-
what you want.
They called 3 people to come up and speak,
Mhm.
and those people didn't come up to speak. And
Yeah.
I think those people were there or came and saw what was there and said, there's no fucking way I'm getting up to speak.
Yeah. They're winning with intimidation.
100%.
And they're not all Deanas. Fearless.
And I don't mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up to 11 o'clock.
59 me too.
Hmm?
What are we talking about here? What did I miss in the chat? No, they aren't capable of education. Yeah. Anyway, so we're 11 o'clock now.
11 o'clock. So again, join the Discord. I'll be sending it out as soon as possible for everybody to go take a look again.
Awesome.
Join in. Try to get more people. And I don't. And it's
Come out tomorrow if
primary.
you have the day off too.
Yeah.
Come to the commission. There's lots of seating.
absolutely. I'll probably make my way there too tomorrow to see if I can go say hello. I'll be ready just in case I need to bring the gear out. Get some new toys.
We code 50
sorry?
50. No, not 50.
Yeah.
It's not the right thing. But I need to give you like a signal.
Oh yeah. 911 or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But absolutely, everybody else, come on in. Come on down. Come take a look. And also join Discord. If you know people who want to get more active, get more involved, and they're also frustrated in regards to seeing these guys go around and do this, point them over too.
Yep.
This is a place for people to get together, organize, know the information of what's going on, and start getting active and into it.
Yep.
The more we can get out there, the better.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And on that,
I'll bring snacks.
should bring
And
snacks.
chairs.
Exactly. I'll bring charm and chairs. Mostly charm, because I don't think I have chairs yet. Anyways,
All right,
have a good
guys.
night, guys.
Have a great night.
Until next week.
Till next week.